right. So the Treaty of Tordesillas is here, remember? And we're starting with a couple of conquistadors. Okay, guys, you know from the 8th grade, conquistador is simply Spanish for conqueror. Okay? Well, at this point, this is what the Portuguese Empire is going to look like. Okay? Except they are going to lose this to the Dutch. Remember? Okay, look. The Treaty of Tordesillas line is like somewhere right in here. All right. So they're going to end up with Brazil. And yes, they're going to come up here. Are they going to stay up there? No. There is a decent Portuguese population up in, I think it's up in Maine, maybe? I can't remember, but somewhere up north, but not really. France is going to kind of dominate up here later. But the conquistadors, sorry. Spain is getting to take all of this and they are starting to explore. Guys, they're hearing stories about people with gold. And y'all, kids are always like, how do they know? Like, how can they talk to the natives? I don't know how you discover a language. Like, I don't know. They just did. So they do start hearing all these stories about gold and like people who have gold. So the conquistadors want to get that gold. First one we're going to deal with is a man named Hernan Cortes. Okay, listen. I speak German, you guys. I don't know the Spanish alphabet. Okay? When y'all say Hernan Cortes, it sounds so cool and so pretty. But when I say it, it's like the Queen of Texas, Hernan Cortes. What I can tell you is the H is silent. Air, none. The kids always like flip the R, like none, and it sounds so cool. But I can't. So just go with me, okay? Okay, Cortez. You're also going to see sometimes his name is spelled with a Z, and sometimes his name is spelled with an S. So it kind of goes interchangeably. Okay? All right. This right here is Mr. Cortez. Okay? His hair looks awfully dark in this picture, but Cortez has kind of an auburn hair color. Okay? So brown, but with a little bit of red in it. You can definitely see a little tinge of red here. And look at his eyes. Blue. And look at his skin. Okay, listen. It is a mistake to assume that all Spaniards are dark hair, dark eyes, dark skin. Guys, look. I just showed you earlier 2 Spaniards right here with Ferdinand and Isabella. He definitely has some red here. Look at his, whatever that is, facial hair. Obviously, she's a redhead. Okay. Other Spaniards. Oh, wait. I'm trying to think of other Spaniards. I'm afraid that you're gonna see a picture of her naked. There's a famous picture, a famous painting of Lucrezia. There she is, naked. Lucrezia Borgia is a Spaniard. Yes, Spain. I promise. Here's another famous one. Spain. Okay. It's a big mistake to assume that all Spaniards look like Antonio Banderas. You know Antonio Banderas. Spy Kids, Puss in Boots, Zorro. Okay. Every Spaniard doesn't look like him. The farther north you are, wrong one. The farther north you are toward France, here, you're going to see more red hair, blonde hair. The farther south you are toward where Granada was, where the Muslims had come in, you're going to see dark. So you just kind of run the gamut with Spaniards, okay? That being said, Cortes has paler skin. Again, his hair is dark, but it has kind of a red to it. And then, of course, he has blue eyes. I've read that they're green, but in every painting I've ever seen, they're always blue. That matters because Cortes is going to show up here. Do you remember the Aztec? In fact, this exact map is what I showed you when we dealt with the Aztec. Yes? Okay, let's see if you remember. So the Aztec, monotheistic or polytheistic? Should have automatically said, boom, polytheistic. One of their gods matters here. His name is Quetzalcoatl. Here it is, so that you can see it written. Quetzal, it's not qua, Quetzalcoatl. You will hear people in Texas, the dog's underneath me like panting. You will hear people in Texas all the time say Quetzalcoatl, but Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl was the great white god. Okay, he also was like this feathered bird of like multicolors, right? Quetzalcoatl, the story says, now please remember, this is part of their religion. So, I mean, he's a god, he can do whatever he wants, right? Basically, here's what the story is. Quetzalcoatl, and I don't know if I have any pictures or not of him. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. Nope, I don't. The story is that Quetzalcoatl comes in, right? And he tells the Aztec, you guys are not sacrificing enough people, which is yet another reason that the Aztecs sacrifice at such degrees that they do. Not just because of the whole like, oh, the sun needs stuff, but also because Quetzalcoatl said, you're not giving the sun enough blood. It needs more. And he said, I'm fed up and I'm leaving. I'm going to go eat west. He says, I'm going to go west and I'm going to walk around the entire world. I mean, again, he's a god. He can do whatever he wants. He can walk on water if he wants to. And he says, look to me or look for me to come back in the east. When I come back, if you haven't been giving enough blood, if you haven't been sacrificing enough, I will destroy you. If you have been sacrificing enough, I will reward you. So the Aztec always have this idea that Quetzalcoatl will come back, and he's known as the great white god, like white hair, real pale eyes, light skin. Maybe they were trying to explain an albino child that was born at some point. Who knows? Okay, but here come these ships. One of the things about the Spanish ships also, the sails are white. So when all of these Spanish ships start coming from this direction, the Aztecs see these ships in the distance and they see the white sails moving and they're like, oh, white. They go get their king, Montezuma. They watch as the Spaniards start stepping down, like walking down the ramps. Guys, the Spaniards bring horses. There weren't horses like what we have today in the Americas. until the Spaniards brought them. Whenever you see like paintings or whatever of Native Americans like on the back of the horse and they're like "Pshoo, pshoo, pshoo," with their bow and arrows, yeah, that didn't happen until after the Spaniards brought the horse. Okay, so that being said, they're looking at these weird beasts that they've never seen before. These ships are massive, way bigger than what they have. And in the desert sun, people are shining white. What is shining? How about the armor that they're wearing? Okay, listen, we have no idea what it would have been like. Okay, this painting is just made up. However, the story says that Montezuma, the king, goes straight up to Cortes because he can tell he's in charge and like kneels. And it's real easy for us to be mad at Cortes. Kids every year are like, ugh, he took advantage of them. What would you do? You just got to this place. People walk up to you and they bow down to you. Yeah? I'm kind of shy by nature and that's weird to me. And I'd be like, dude, stand up. Would all of you? Some of you be like, heck yeah, worship me. They also don't understand each other. I think if Montezuma could have said, oh, you're a god. Wow. I think Cortez would have been like, a god? What? I'm no god. Okay. They don't understand each other. The story says that Montezuma immediately brings Cortez and his men to the capital city, Tenochtitlan. Okay. Remember that city? And immediately he takes them to the temple complex where they sacrifice. And at that point, Cortez is horrified. He sees the blood, he sees the sacrifice, and he's, ugh. Even if you don't understand what he's saying, you understand repulsion. Ugh. So Montezuma doesn't know what to do, and he takes him to the treasury. That's where all the gold is kept. Cortez, again, it's easy to look at him and go, that is wrong. But Cortez looks at his men and says, load that gold up and hurry. Okay, that's the story of what happened. Whether it's true that way or not, we don't really know. I've read a lot of historians who say Montezuma didn't think that Cortez was a god with his white skin, shining armor, and light eyes. I don't know, but that's the story. Regardless, Cortez and his men start loading up the ship, right? Well, Montezuma notices that a lot of his people start getting sick. A lot of his people have fevers. A lot of his people are being punished by the gods. Huh. He goes to Cortez and he's like, you gotta go. You gotta leave. Okay. Cortez is like, nah, you said I could have this. So we're just gonna stay until I go ahead and load it all up, okay? Montezuma gets kidnapped. Is it called kidnapping when you're an adult? I don't know. But he gets taken as prisoner. At that point, of course, the Aztec are like, oh, heck no. And so they start fighting. Okay, y'all, look at the difference. The Spaniards have armor, swords, and guns. The Aztec, do they have a chance against especially guns? No. Montezuma's gonna get killed, by the way, in the whole thing. But there are people that are killed. There are Aztec that are killed in this fight, okay, this battle. But the vast majority of the Aztec are actually going to die from diseases. And I know you know this from the eighth grade. A lot of the diseases that they were used to in the old world, in Europe and Africa and what is it, Asia, they had never had before in the Americas. One of the big ones that is just crazy to me is the flu. We're so used to the flu that it's like, oh, I have the flu. I'm out for a week. Okay, I'll be fine next week. They're dying from the flu. Have you ever died from the flu? Like, it's crazy to think that something that I mean, it knocks us out and it sucks and we feel like crap, but really, it's not a big deal. But think about this whole COVID drama. We have no immunities to COVID. So people are getting sick a lot. It's kind of like that. Kind of. Except no quarantine, so everybody's just out breathing and coughing and kissing and spitting on each other all over the place. Yeah? Kind of the same thing. No immunities at all, and they're just dropping like flies. Did the Spanish plan that? No. I have no doubt. In fact, I know because I've read some documents that you'll probably read in class too, where Cortes actually writes, God is punishing these non believers. So, Cortes conquers the Aztec. Yeah? Takes all their gold. Yeah? Takes it back to Spain. When people show up to the Maya, these cities here are the ones that I talked to you about earlier in the year that were already abandoned when they show up in this area. The Maya have already moved into this area by that time. Okay. Okay, so we have another conquistador. Here he is. Francisco Pizarro. He will be on your vocab quiz. And guys, where is it? Notes. Look at his name. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. I'll go back because that you have to know that. Look at his name. It's like pizza, but it's not like pizza. I always have kids on the vocab quiz. You guys spell it Pizzaro. One Z, two R's. One Z, two R's. It's not like pizza. And I see it spelled that way by multiple people every year. Okay, that being said, we do have another conquistador, Pizarro, Francisco Pizarro. Okay, here he is. Pizarro is going to go south. Do you remember the Inca? Down here in the Andes. The Inca also have a lot of gold. Okay? He hears all these stories about people over in the West in the mountains that have gold. And he's like, all right, I'm going to get it. It's actually pretty easy for him because, well, that's weird to say. It's actually really hard for him to conquer the Inca because they're so far up in the Andes, he can't breathe. But it's actually really easy for him to find where the Inca are. Do you remember the Carpanon? Their roads. That's a technological road. That's not just like Bob's Road. I mean, today it's Bob's Road, I know. But back then, that would tell him, ooh, there's a, important, what is it? Higher whatever people that way. He and his men just follow the roads. But it's really not fair to say it's easy because even though it's easy to just follow the roads and go from like city to city, it actually is really hard for he and his men, again, because they're so high. Spain is pretty low elevation. Have you ever gone, because we're really low elevation. So have you ever gone to like, I go to Rio quite a bit. Have you ever been to Rio? All of a sudden, I need my inhaler like every 2 seconds. I mean, I need it like every 3 seconds at home. But all of a sudden in Rio Dosa, I'm like, right? Why? Because the elevation is so much more. Okay, multiply that by like a ton. Let's see. I wonder. I've never really looked. Um, Elevation. Let me put land. Land elevation, Midland, Texas. Let's see. Ooh, ooh, I don't know. Should I just put Texas? I don't know. I've never looked at this before, but it just popped in my head. What town has the highest elevation? Fort Davis. Duh. Okay, so Fort Davis is here, and we're way below that. 4892. Can you remember that? 4892. Okay, now let's look at 4892. 6920. Okay, you ready? 6920. Can you remember that? 6920. Okay, you ready? Oh, just 11. 11152. Guys, we're lower than 4. I wonder what Spain is. I've never looked before. Oops, good if I could spell. Well, like I'm just taking this detour in the middle of your video. They're at 2,000. 2,000, you guys. And all of a sudden, he's going up into 11,000 elevation. Like, that's crazy. So, I don't want you to think, even though I said it's easy, it is easy simply following the roads. I can't breathe at all. I guarantee this is that concert. They can't breathe. Where's my arrow? There we go. This is showing you another picture of the Carpanon. I mean, they are down on the ground. They look up at a mountain and go, all right. So he will conquer the Inca by following the road. This right here is like one of their famous paintings. That's the end of the Inca. Okay. And it's not that they end, they get conquered. They're going to have the same issues as the Aztec with disease and stuff. Okay. However, there are going to be people, Spaniards, who start mixing with the native women. Yes, there's always going to be some disgusting men who are going to rape the women, but there's also going to be relationships formed, husband wife type relationships. Okay, and what you end up having happen is you will end up with a Spanish husband and an Aztec, Incan, whatever, a Native American woman mixing. The child that they produce is called a mestizo. The mixed, here we go. The mixed Spanish, well, really European and Native American. Okay. Yes, Spanish mostly, but I mean European. They're called mestizo. Okay. That word over time, why? I don't know. It's going to undergo a change. Okay, listen. The majority, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. It's my parents' anniversary. The majority of Mexicans, we're not talking about other Latin Americans, Mexicans. Although it's going to happen with the Inca in Peru too. But the majority of Mexicans are mixed. They're part Spanish, they're part Native American, either Aztec, Toltec, Olmec, Maya, whatever. Okay. Um, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, the word Mexico. It was originally the land of the mestizo, 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 Mexico. Are you with me? So, I mean, of course, that's not going to happen until the 1800s, but we're getting there. Okay. Okay, we have one more guy that I'm going to talk about. He's not really a conquistador, but he doesn't really fit anywhere. So he goes here. His name is Magellan. I always have kids who have like the Magellan brand jackets and stuff. And they're like, look, miss, that brand has a compass on it. I wonder why. Hmm. This guy's name is Ferdinand Magellan. Magellan is Portuguese. And he wants to go around the world. It's called circumnavigate. Okay. If I circumnavigate this dining room table right now, I've gone all the way around it. Okay. He wants to circumnavigate the entire world. Well, he goes to Portugal. What do they say? You already know the answer. How long do you think that's going to take? How much like supplies are you going to need? How many ships? How many people? What do we send you with? Guys, they're going pretty regularly now across the Atlantic. The Atlantic compared to the Pacific is a baby toy. It's nothing. They're not prepared for the Pacific. It's huge. He doesn't have an answer for them. So they say no, and he goes to Spain. Spain says, well, it worked out for us last time. So he is Portuguese, but he's going to sail under the Spanish flag. Okay, look, I want you to notice his cool map. I love these early maps. Can you tell what you're looking at? Do you see this right here? Coming down? Mexico. South America. Does that look right? No, it doesn't. Look, I gotta find it. I love these maps. They're so fun. These are maps that, aren't really right yet, okay? So we have Europe up here. You can tell there's Italy, the boot, okay? Greece. Here we have the Ottoman Empire. Jerusalem, it even says it right here. Egypt's down here, North Africa. Yeah. Here's Spain and Portugal. Up here, we have the Holy Roman Empire. Here's France. Here's England, Scotland, Ireland. Okay. As you come down this way, we have Africa. Looks pretty good. Africa looks fairly right. It's kind of squatty here, but that's okay. It looks pretty good. Yeah. India. It's kind of weirdly shaped, but it looks pretty good. Oh. Yeah, in case you don't know, that's not right. This right here, you're looking at China, I don't know, Korea somewhere. I don't know. Cambodia, Vietnam. And look over here. You have this up here. This is like Nova Scotia, Canada area. Okay. And then over here, well, that's some North America. These are the Caribbean. Oh, I'm sorry. Up here is North America. These are the Caribbean islands right here. Aztec, Maya, and then part of South America. I just love these maps. I think they're so fun. They're so wrong, but they're so fun. What Magellan's going to do is set off and go all the way around the world. Okay? Nobody's done it yet. Does he do it? This is Magellan's route. Okay? They set off right here. It shows you 1519. He has 237 sailors when he sets off. That's not very many. So he sets off. He comes down here. This is what they know. Okay? He comes down here. This is what we call the Straits of Magellan today. And then he just goes into open ocean. I bet he was scared to death. Things get pretty bad. They start running low on supplies. And then they get out over here in the Philippines. Okay. They know these islands. These are the Spice Islands. So he gets out and they're wanting to trade for some more supplies. And he ends up getting a spear in the gut or something, like in his stomach. He dies. His crew goes on into open ocean. That's kind of surprising to me. Why didn't they just follow what they already knew? I don't know. They go into open ocean. They go around the Cape of Good Hope. And then they get back right here. It's over a year. Okay. Oh, duh, it's over a year. It's several years. Magellan died in the Philippines. So did he make it? He is credited with, he's going to be jealous about my concert. You're like, what are you talking about? Don't worry about it. But anyway, he is credited with going all the way around the world. He didn't make it, his crew did. Now, when he gets back, or his crew gets back, there's only like 15 or something men left. Did I put it on there? 19. That's it. The rest are dead. Was this a successful expedition? Magellan died. I don't even know what that math is. He lost over 250 people. Was it successful? Did they do what they wanted to do? Yeah. So if you don't think it's successful, that's fine. But from a historical point of view, it is considered successful. Even though we died in the process, I know, okay, get over it. Yeah. Okay, so that leads us to the Columbian Exchange in your notes. And we'll deal with that in class tomorrow. If I can find, here we go.